Water, an elixir of life. Man has through ages craved in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrit. But the true elixir of life lies near our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. On one side was visible sea of sand without a patch of green or a single living thing. On the other side lay one of the greatest, most fertile and densely populated areas teeming with life and vegetation. What made this wonderful difference? Why, it is the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its source. Geologists tell us that the entire soil of the Nile Valley is a creation of the river itself. Egypt, in fact, was made by its river. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving water, which comes down year after year with unfailing regularity. This common substance, which we take for granted in our everyday life, is the most potent and the most wonderful thing on the face of our earth. It has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the Earth's history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. Water adds much to the beauty of the countryside, be it just a little stream trickling over the rock or a little pond by the wayside where the cattle satisfy their thirst of an evening. The rainfed tanks are a cheering sight when they are full. These tanks play a vital role in South Indian agriculture. In Mysore, for example, much of the rice is grown under them. Some of these tanks are surprisingly large and it is a beautiful sight to see the sun rise or set over them. Water in a landscape may be compared to the eyes in a human face. It reflects the mood of the earth, being bright and gay when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast. One of the most remarkable facts about water is its power to carry sleet. This is the origin of the characteristic color of the water in rain-fed tanks. The color varies with the nature of the earth in the catchment area. Swiftly flowing water can carry fairly large and heavy particles. The finest particles, however, remain floating within liquid in spite of their greatest density and are carried to great distance. Such particles are, of course, extremely small, but the numbers is also great and very large amount of solid matter can be transported in this way. The color of the water changes successively from the muddy red or brown of sleep through varying shade of yellow and green, finally to the blue of the deep sea. Such land, consisting as it does of finely divided matter, usually very fertile. Soil erosion is a major problem in countries like India. It occurs when the top layer of the soil is washed away in successive steps by the action of water. It is mainly caused by sudden burst of heavy rainfall, the slope of the land, removal of the natural protective coat of vegetation, the ruts along which water can flow rapidly, and the absence of any checks to prevent the flow of water. It can be checked using various preventive measures like the terracing of land, construction of bunds, dams to check the flow of water, and the planting of appropriate type of vegetation. The conservation and utilization of water is fundamental for human welfare. Much of Indian agriculture depends on seasonal rainfall and is therefore very sensitive to any failure or irregularity of the same. The problem of soil erosion and of inadequate, not enough or irregular rainfall are closely connected with each other. It is clear that the adoption of technique preventing soil erosion would also help to conserve and keep the water where it is wanted. In India, an immense quantity of rainwater runs off the ground. The collection and utilization of this water is important. Much of it finds its way to the sea. Incredibly, large quantities of the precious fluid are thus lost to the countries. The harnessing of our rivers, the waters of which now mostly run to west, is need of the hour. Vast area of land which at present are mere scrub jungle could be turned into fertile and prosperous land by courageous and well-planned action. Closely connected with the conservation of water supply is the problem of afforestation. The systematic planting of suitable tree in every possible or even in impossible area is one of the most urgent needs of India. Such plantation would directly and indirectly prove a source of hidden wealth to the country. They would check soil erosion, conserve the rainfall of the country from flowing away to waste, and it will also supply cheap fuel. The cheapest form of internal transportation in a country is by boats and barges through canal and rivers. We hear much about programs of rails and road construction, but far too little about the development of waterways in India. Then again, the harnessing of water supply make possible the development of hydroelectric power. This would improve the rural life and economy, help in tapping the groundwater resources to a great extent. Water is the basis of all life. Every animal and every plant contains a substantial proportion of free or combined water in its body, and fluid is an essential part in all physiological activities. Moisture in the soil is equally necessary for the life and growth of plants and trees. Thus, although water is the commonest of all liquid, it is the most uncommon of liquids with amazing properties which are responsible for its unique power of maintaining animal and plant life.